Well, just a real short discussion before I take off into this lovely weather around here. I was doing some research on the mass die-offs. There are five of them, and the worst of them was at the end of the Permian period, just before Pangea, the supercontinent Pangea broke up. Now, again, scientists have no consensus on it. There's all these different theories. The main one right now is that the die-off was caused by eruptions from the Siberian vents in the eastern Siberia. That could be the case because Europe had just crashed into Asia, pushing up the Ural Mountains and helping to form Pangaea. But a million years of eruptions, probably all the animals would have died off from that because of all the pollution in the air caused by nature. But that's the theory right now. Others have a theory that the reason you had such a massive die-off on the land was that it was a single continent and the animals had no place to go. There was no lifeboat continent floating off to save them. Now that happened later, after Pangaea started breaking up. It broke into its different components that are now the continents. One of them was Australia, drifted slowly across the Indian Ocean and took with it most marsupials. Marsupials are a type of mammal. They don't have a placenta, so like most mammals in the rest of the world, and they don't carry their fetuses to full term within the female. The fetuses are born very early, and they crawl into a pouch and continue their development there. But marsupials basically had the island to themselves, some lizards and birds and everything, and they developed their own predators. Everybody knows about the Tasmanian devils. They're not very big. They're very small, actually. Vicious little things, but they are definitely predators, and they are marsupials. But there's others as well. There's the Thylacine, which are also known as Tasmanian wolves, which I prefer, or marsupial tigers. They're called marsupial tigers because they have stripes on their hindquarters. But they look and act a lot like dogs. Then you had the marsupial lions, who did look like lions, like saber-toothed lions, very brawny lions without the saber teeth. The marsupial lions died out about 100,000 years ago. Supposedly, the Tasmanian wolf died out in the early 1930s when the last of them, there was actually two at one point, and then one died out in captivity. And we do have film of them, and they do look and act remarkably like dogs. Now, the one yawns at one point in the film, and you realize that its dentation is different, and its jaws come to a point rather than squared off like most dogs. Basically, it looks like that of an opossum, and opossums here in North America are a marsupial. But it's more than a possum with an attitude. It does look and act like a dog. Now, these things evolved on this lifeboat, separated from the rest of life and other mammals to fill these different niches. But they still end up looking like species of predators that they're not even closely related to. And it's all part of continental drift, the development of life, and the ongoing processes we are going through. And it's just something that I wanted to bring up. Again, is there any consensus in science as to exactly how the die-offs happen, or how all of this came about? Is the theory of evolution a law of evolution? No, they're all theory, and we're all still trying to find out more about it. And I'll have something else to talk with you tomorrow. Good night.